This is a video for GEDI. We've got a part here we call a headed washer. This is a 220 volt system. Feeds this headed washer here. The orientation of the part is coming down this gravity track here, and the boss, as I call it, that piece right there that comes off the washer is when it's in the proper orientation is like this, with the flat side of the washer facing outside the bowl, and the headed part is facing the center of the bowl. We've got a gravity track here with a photo eye that shuts the bowl on and off based on the level of parts here. This gravity track is mounted to a stand that is mounted to the drive unit of the bowl. We've got the photo sensor here, which that's the photo sensor right there. You'll be able to mount that wherever it is that you want to mount it. We don't have it mounted to anything. And then, of course, it also comes with this controller, and it is a 240 volt controller. And you can see we are at a little bit under 50 on the dial, which is great. That's what we strive for, is to stay under 75%, so we're well under where we like to be there. What we've got here, the configuration down at the end of the track, is like this. There is a ball detent. Hopefully you can see it down there. There's a ball detent right there underneath the track. It can be loosened and tightened by driving it in and out. Right there, it's threaded and it's in the bottom of the track. And this is made, I'm right-handed. I'm going to do this with my left hand, so if it's uncoordinated, please excuse me, but it's made so that someone can come in here with their fingers and strip the part out of the track, and then the next one comes back down and gets in line and is ready to be pulled out. Of course, when the level falls below that track switch there, that turns the bowl on and it refills the track. Another important thing I want to point out, your rate is 10 parts a minute. What you see right there, it's very important that you do not overfill this bowl. The level that you are looking at right there is a good maximum level. And that number of parts in there represents a pretty good rate as far as time is concerned. At 10 parts a minute, you've got a good quantity of parts in there. Now, one other thing that I do want to point out, I have noticed they're few and far between, but they do exist, where this boss is not centered very well on the part. We have some of them where this boss piece here is off-center quite a bit. If that part gets off-center quite a bit, as you can imagine, what we're doing here with this design is we're stopping the part underneath with a ball detent. That takes that boss, if you will, and pushes it up against that piece you see right there that extends out of the track. And the boss against that is what provides the friction necessary to stop the part there at the end, and that's the ball detent forcing it up like that so that it can come in and you can strip it out and it stops the next one. If that boss is offset too much and it's not at least something close to being in the center, you could have a part that will not get stopped there and will just come out of the track. So, if you see that, it may happen once in this family of parts, but I want to point that out. I have seen it happen twice myself, and both times I can take the part and I can visually tell that that boss is considerably off-center. More off-center than I would expect to see in a part like this, even with the way I know it's made. So I just wanted to point that out, and because I have seen it happen a time or two, and there's nothing you can do about it, because if I tighten up on that piece down there in order to make sure I capture all of those, then the good parts get too tight and they're too difficult to remove from this. So you know, obviously you need to have automation quality parts, and for the most part these are automation quality, but I have run into a couple of them where it's off center, and it doesn't jam up the feeder or anything, but what it will do is you may just see the part just instead of me pulling the part and the next one stopping, it might just come right out. Okay, I'm going to position the camera here and then operate it. Focus in there tightly so you can see me removing the parts here. Now your rate is 10 parts a minute. That's translated into 1 part every 6 seconds. Hopefully you'll pardon me, but I'm going to move a little quicker than that rather than sit here and count to 6 between every part. So if I do that, it becomes reminiscent of paint drying. I know an operator won't have any problem coming back every 6 seconds to get a part. That's because they've got something to do in between. And the only thing I have to do in between is talk to you. Now you just probably saw me, I went to pull a piece that didn't come out quite well. It does look like it's off center a little bit, and it didn't want to come out, and that means that it was off centered, unfortunately, to the high side, which made it a little difficult to get out. What I did to overcome that was rotate it just slightly, and that gets the boss down and not on the high side, and then it makes it easy. I just rotate it like that, if you will, and I pull and it comes right out. These are fresh parts, by the way. The parts that you see me running here had never been in the feeder before. The parts that we developed the feeder with are right here in this box. So I took those out. That way I wasn't using what I like to call trained parts. These are fresh parts, never been in the feeder before, except for obviously the ones you see me throwing back in the bowl as I escape them. show you a little different view here before I finish out the video. As you can tell, I stopped putting the parts back in there. I'm just going to kind of let it run empty here for the duration of the video. So I'm throwing the parts into a box rather than back in the bowl. So I just figured I'd let you see it from a different angle here. Okay, hopefully you've seen enough. As you can tell, good to the last drop. Last part fed out, and it fed beautifully right to the end. Every part out.